Hi guys, welcome along to our live stream, the Christmas live stream, the final one of the year. Listen, we're 12 minutes late, but it wouldn't be us without being a little bit late on something. And in fairness, I'd like to blame technical reasons, but we were just talking about experiences and what's gone on and what event. And it's quite strange because we've sort of listed the events we've been on this year and we're sharing our experiences of what it is. And then sort of Michael turns to Lee and says, was that this year or last year? And then we said, actually, that might have been last year. So actually, just because we sort of go there sort of once a year on different events, we're trying to sort of work out what happened when. So we might be sharing experiences with you that happened at a venue that could be a little bit later than what we're saying, but at least we're sharing our experiences with you, really. So thank you all for joining us for this Christmas festive. Although I'm not very festive, Lee's got his antlers on.
Me, isn't it?
Oh, Andy's got his hat on.
Oh yeah. Well done, Andy.
Yeah, just me and Michael that are not very festive.
I've got a festive belly.
There we go.
You just can't see it.
Oh, well.
I think that's a good thing.
Michael got a festive belly.
I'm always in a festive mood, so.
There we go.
All year round.
Yeah.
There we go. So, thank you very much for joining our live stream. I'll give you a bit of a setup in a moment, but for those that are watching us online, feel free to comment. Feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to share your experiences. We're absolutely going to forget some stuff that's gone on. So we're going to sort of aim to sort of give a bit of an overview of where we've been this year, what we've been doing, and so on. But also we're also keen to obviously review the early part of next year as well, where we're planning to head to, what we're going to be doing. David Goulden's put "shake your balls, Andy."
He knows you too well.
Yeah, you'll get that my OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's not on this one. That's after this one, and Andy goes live straight away. That's why we can't. We can only see you from the waist up. We don't know what's going on. I'm leaving that.
Yeah, leave a tip and I'll stand up.
So we also have also on the live chat we've got Mary, who isn't joining us this evening, but she's there. She's there to answer questions. She's there to facilitate. She's there to tell us off when we're being sidetracked. She's also there to keep us way under control. So Mary is also on chat, so it can help us sort of field the questions, and will be texting us. So we're trying to keep an eye on. So we're not looking at football scores. We do look down at our phone. We have watched football, haven't we? We did do that before, but not tonight. Our team is rubbish. But David's put, don't need to get a Christmas gimmick, Dan. You're a Pompey legend. Brilliant. No comment on that one, David. But no worries. So 2023, it seems to have flown by, and like I say, we sort of been chatting about venues and chatting about where we've been and our experiences, and all of a sudden we think, did that happen this year or last year? So it's an odd one, really. But so I guess as an overview, we did 17 events last year, 17 sort of individual events, going back to a couple of venues a couple of times. So I guess one of them was to sort of, because it was our first time there, so we were looking at the number of people we can go on. But really, it's just a case of if we enjoyed our experience, and we sort of head back to really. So there've been 17 different events. We sold 279 tickets. And I guess that if people are watching from other groups or the bigger companies out there, doesn't seem like a lot. But this year's focus has been a lot different. We haven't done events for the sake of doing events, whereas some years we've done 42, 35 events. We've sold 24 tickets, and this year's been completely different. I did have a little look around, and the average number of people we've been taking is around 15 people per event, which splits nicely to sort of 3 groups of 5. So that's where we sort of positioned ourselves this year. So this year's been a bit of a focus on bringing numbers down. I wrote sort of 3 things down, really. Bringing numbers down, so making it a bit more
quality and quantity.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've actually gone back to locations, or we visited locations armed with the information that we've either caught from previous events and either gone back to debunk or to try and sort of regenerate the activity, really. So I know that, Andy, that we've had some experiences, and we've gone back, and you've been keen, haven't you, on some venues to go back and go,
yeah,
actually, we know we caught this last time, and without sharing it with the public or without saying this is what we did and this is what we're doing, go back and try and recreate or try and pull that activity through again. But I know
it's
that's
always
been
a
a
challenge,
focus of yours,
isn't
wasn't it,
to know what's happened in the past and one to really kind of try and catch that again or debunk it, but not then influence what you're doing on the subsequent investigations and then ruin your chances of being able to prove these two things are linked. So yeah, it's quite difficult to be subtle about it, but also trying to get some sort of repetition or better evidence of it. Yeah, I'm always focused on that as well, and trying to sort of share that information with certain people to then see if that actually increases the chance of getting the same thing or not. It's a difficult one to balance, isn't it?
Because we're always conscious, aren't we, of going back to a venue and trying to be blinkered by what we caught last time, or going back and trying this because this worked last time. We don't want to be sort of go down that one route of going, we're only doing this in this area because this happened last time. But I feel this year as well with the events, with the public's come on, I feel like the public have got involved a lot more. Like I've always sort of said in the beginning, you're here to share our hobby. You're here, you can use the equipment, you can get involved in what you want. I think this year more than any, certainly on the sort of more public events, in more public events, people have been really involved. And I think we've had sort of members of the public that have sort of come with us for the first few times that have sort of been a bit more regular, that have started to sort of really get involved and really give us different things to think about, but also get involved in the way we investigate. So I think in years, it's sort of like people would come on board, they would come, they wouldn't know us, they'd be a bit apprehensive, they'd sit in their groups, they'd investigate and go home. Whereas this year, we seem to have taken a lot more people on board with the way we're investigating, but being a bit more inclusive as well, rather than an us and them approach, which I've really enjoyed.
A sign of the times, it's a sign of how things progress, because you think about it now, years ago, say 10 years ago when I first got involved with you guys, it was still a fairly niche thing to do, the go hunting and paranormal investigating. Whereas now, there's a lot of groups out there, there's a lot more of it on the TV now, so people are more familiar with it, so they're already sort of primed into what's going to happen. We don't get so many of those first timers now that sit there, with fear in their eyes, thinking, "Oh, I'm really nervous. I'm not sure I really want to do this." People now are a lot more at ease with it. It's not the exception. It's not unusual now as it used to be.
No, I think you're absolutely right, and I think that some of our hardest ever events, and everyone will feel this around the table, that when you sort of say, right, why are you here? And someone says, well, he made me, she made me, someone bought this for me. There's been a lot less of that and a lot more people that are coming along with a genuine interest. So yeah, I think it's been better and easier for us because we really feel like we've been able to investigate this year as well. Whereas I know that's been my main gripe, I think, for the last 8 of the 12 years or 10 years we've been investigating, that I always feel like it's a hobby that I'm forever just running around making sure things are okay, rather than, but actually this time we really got down, got dirty and got involved and really investigating. And Michael was sort of saying a story, I know we'll go into it maybe in a bit, but one of his favorite things that happened wasn't with one of us, it wasn't with our, it actually was with 2 members of the public that came along that were trying out something probably for the first time, which has some really good activity. So I won't go into it, I won't sort of steal your thunder, Michael, but do you know what I mean? But it's just like, it's nice to hear those sort of stories as well, rather than just, What's that? Did some music, please? What's
I
that?
feel like a music bed, but as a special Yule present, I've ditched it.
Oh, okay. That completely threw me. Alison said, "Can we ditch the music, please?" Bar humbug. I didn't hear any music, so I was a bit thrown by that comment. But yeah, so it's been an interesting year. It's been an interesting bit. It's been enjoyable, and I think that it sort of leads us nicely into next year, where we've got a good few investigations planning. We've got a good few investigations that we've got sort of set in stone, and I think it's a nice mix early on next year, which again we'll go into, but nice mix early on next year of new venues, older venues, and stuff that we're looking forward to go back to, really. So, like I said, 17 venues last year, or 17 events last year, split between, I think, 14 venues, 2 new places, 280 odd tickets sold. So it's been nice for us. It's really built into the ethos of, I think, COVID. So if there was one good thing to come out of COVID, we've learned to sort of do events with probably 10 less people.
Yeah.
10 less people. 10 less people on it, really. If that's a good thing to come from COVID, yeah, I think I'm trying to look at it. But yeah, for us, we haven't returned from COVID with the 20 odd people. So we've always sort of tried to keep it that, and I think it's worked. And I think I had a real good conversation at the Brickworks and about a couple of the places. And I'm always real conscious when I book a venue that I'll get the price. I'll look at what we need to do. So I'll try and divide it by the amount of numbers that I think can go on it, and then and then I'll scour the internet to see what other people are paying, other people are charging. And it's always been a big conscious of mine that I might put an event on at £50 that some of the companies are doing for 40 or 45. And the conversation on Friday, the conversation on Friday, on our last event, at the Brickworks, everyone I spoke to was like, well, we'd rather pay an extra £5, £6, £7 more and take half the people than we would sort of, take it, paying £10 less and then ending up one of 40, because that certainly ruins the experience. And I've been having that leads me on to a conversation like a good example is the what's the boat I've been trying to go to? Not the Warrior. Is the Warrior? Yeah, the Warrior is a great example. The Warrior is a really good example. It's a ship that other companies have investigated. It's a ship that we were literally moments from signing a contract to go, and it was around 800, so just below £1,800 to book, which means still a bit pricey for the way we wanted to split it, but one that we thought, even if we did it once and give it a go, went to sign the contracts, it's gone up to £1,800. And when I emailed them to say, wow, like why? She went, but you can bring in 40 people, and I'm like, well, that's us out, because we from Dave and his sons and Dave and Dan and the guys that have been on it, they struggled when they were with 40 people. It's a wooden ship that has a grate that's running through the middle, and they struggle with the amount of people.
Because we all know we do these things in the middle of the night, partially to be able to control the variables. You go on the Warrior, a steel-clad wooden ship. The uncontrollable variables are unsurmountable. So you've got to keep it in tiny groups to stand a chance, haven't you? Really. Otherwise, so much of what you get, you're going to have to presume, make the assumption that it's probably contaminated.
Yeah,
it might work.
Most definitely. I was just
I just can't ever see us doing it. I can't think of a time where we've ever had a group of more than 8 people. I think we used to operate on about 7, didn't we? I think. And then I think to be able to take that down again, I think that's quite an amazing thing to do. That hopefully improves the evening for people. It doesn't guarantee activity, but people can get more involved.
No,
they can see more.
Yeah, definitely. Just going back to a few comments on here, really, we've so everyone's less people on the event is I prefer less people on the event as possible. I'll be back. So Emma Holder came with us for the first time and said thank you very much for the first. I'm not going to read that exactly what she said, but
you're welcome
for the first investigation, and she'll be back soon.
Emma's comment made me chuckle.
Yes, Emma's. You can share it if you want, but I think I've lost it here now. I haven't got the.
There it is.
Go on and read it out.
I love ghost hunting with you guys. Thanks for taking my ghost hunting virginity.
Ghost cherry.
There we go. Yeah,
you're welcome.
So but the general sort of consensus on here of people saying hello and happy Christmas and stuff, but well worth paying a bit extra for a quality run event. Definitely smaller groups are the way forward. And pay a bit more for smaller groups. So it's not what it is, the general consensus. I think where it doesn't help us too much is where we sort of launch an event. You'd be surprised that even though we all feel that that's the best way to do it, you'd be surprised the amount of emails I get to say, why are you £10 more expensive? Or why are you £15 more expensive? Why are you this? And I always say to people, go and then come with us. And then it's nothing. I'm not saying we're better than people. What we certainly do is reduce the numbers to as reasonable as we can do it, you know. And yeah, I get probably when I'll send the launch emails out soon for next year and release next year. You'll be surprised the amount of people that do come back and question our pricing.
One of the other benefits,
which is difficult.
One of the other benefits, and it's a silly thing really, but it does come into the whole experience of how we do things. If there's 10, 15, 20 people in a group, I've got zero chance of remembering anybody's name. With a group, with a small group,
about 4 people.
If we're doing this film, say we've got somebody in the rods, I can say, oh, you know, Emma's with us on the rods. I can, you know, it's a much more personable experience. We'll get to know you.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not got this.
My friend
She's
here.
on the rods now.
I tend to say my friend here.
It's, you know, at least 5, 6. So I've got more of a chance of remembering people's names, you know. So yeah, I think it's a I think it's a better experience. I think it's friendlier. We're going to get to know you. You know, you're not just a ticket. Yeah. You're far from it. You're not a ticket at all. We really do want to share our experience and the evening with you, and you know, and hopefully you'll get some experiences. You'll learn something, and you'll have a good time. You know.
The ticket price might actually also affect the investigation location itself, as in the conversation between Alison and Shami in the chat, and also our experiences of certain locations where you have to pay more to get more access to the same sort of location, or you pay more for some rooms, or in case they worry, you pay to have the lights turned off. Otherwise, you investigate with them turned on, apparently. So that's kind of kind of a balance, isn't it, between how many people you take compared to how much of the location you really get. I mean, that must really affect your decision if you actually want to book a place or not.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and I've seen the step up in prices and step up in, you know, again, we're nearly, we've booked a prison. We booked a prison, which we've been trying to get in for ages. It's best part of £1,500 to go to, and they want a 50% deposit, or your date is not confirmed, or your date is not, like, whereas before it'd be like a couple of £100, but you know, you're looking at sort of £700, £750 deposit just to secure the date. That's with, and again, for a non-profit society, you start digging into savings, you start digging into things, or you try and you sort of play that sort of curveball of releasing an event with having the date nearly booked to try and get the deposit done, running the risk of losing the date. So it's been, I would say this has probably been my hardest year so far of trying to sort of juggle the sort of different events. Some venues have been amazing. Some venues will let us just run with it, and then now us, we built up, you know, 12 years worth of trust, I guess, of never not turning up to a venue, never cancelling a venue, apart from COVID, but never letting anyone down, you know. Even venues where we've taken a hit on, where we've not sold no ticket, we'll still do it. And yeah, so some of us you built up enough credit for. Some of the bigger venues, certainly the prisons, I'm finding have really stepped up in price. But yeah, it's sort of like just wipes you out completely. So I've seen, it's been a difficult time with just, and I think that sometimes you can be hindered by, you know, other groups letting people down, or only just having a bit of distrust that we're going to be there. So to pay £800 deposit on venues has been the most I've ever paid. I mean, normally you can have a sort of £1,000 in the kitty and you'll be able to sort of book the first 6 months up, but it's not been like that this year. So it's been an interesting step up for sure, but hasn't stopped us booking. We've got a real good start to next year, I think, a real exciting start. And hopefully events that there's something in there, I think, for the local guys that come with us, something in there a little bit further afield, those that want a bit of stay away and so on. So yeah, this year, let's stick to.
But just quickly, sorry, you saying about paying for the extra areas. There are some areas some venues we go to. I won't go into them, but you know, I do think such as that extra area. I've had some good things there, and I'd like to go there again. But you have to weigh that up against the extra cost.
Yeah.
And then you think to yourself, but I think we probably all look at it, but certainly the way I look at it, and you know what I say to people that are in my group is, if we see the whole venue, we've probably had a quiet night.
Yeah.
Because if you see the whole place, you're moving around. It's because nothing's happening. Nothing's tied you to one area. So
investigate one room, then it's been a good night.
Which has happened.
Yeah.
Me and Lee can vouch for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Shy Hall's the prime example. I know David's watching, but
That was
you
the whole
guys spent
event,
the
wasn't it?
whole event in the gift shop, where people run into the cells in the courtroom. You guys just sat there
Yeah.
communicating in the gift shop,
Yeah.
and
You
it
are
was
you are
amazing.
going to have to come to us, I'm afraid. If you want to see
That's how good
what's
we are,
going on, you're going to have to come to us.
That's how respected you are in the paranormal field, mate. Don't ever come to us, and we're not playing ball tonight. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that was to the spirits as well.
Yeah, that's just everyone. That's just anyone in general. Anyone wants to interact, then yeah. Cool. So last year was that?
This year.
No, yeah, this year.
We're not in last
No,
year.
we're not. We got Hev here, by the way. Hev's not on camera, but she is.
Swing around.
Hev is. I don't know if I can move the camera around to say hello quickly. Hev's with us. She wasn't, so yeah, we're hogging the limelight here, but Hev is on with us now. I'm trying to get Lee back in the frame. Is that all right? Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, that's good.
So this year we started off. I look at the first sort of quarter really. We started at Merley House. We did the brickworks. We did Wimmering Manor, Victoria House. Yeah, so they're the sort of first four. I guess I spent all day. I spent all day going back to right. This was the venue. What happened then? It's difficult. It's really difficult to do, especially. And I went back. I did go back and try and sort of see who was on the event to see where that jogged. You're talking about remembering people. I'm trying to remember the event and the people and the group we're with. But I think out of that was an experience that we were both talk about, Michael. And I think Kimberly's actually on. I don't know if Kimberly's on. Kimberly, say hello. I think Kimberly's actually watching tonight. She's thrown me by getting married and changing her last name, but I'm sure Kimberly's on. But I think it's one of my favourite experiences from last year. One, because Kimberly had never done this type of experiment before. It was the Estes method. So we were doing using the SB7 with the sort of Frank's box or the radio, using the white noise. And for those who've never done it before, we had Kimberly standing in the room with headphones on, noise cancelling headphones, but doing it for the very, very first time. And then myself and Michael, Cherry and David and Lily. I think Lily and maybe Mary. I'm not sure whether Mary was there or not.
I don't think Mary was there. I think we did have another couple of people there.
There was. I can't remember who else it was, but certainly involved in this sort of bit of a technique.
And this was filmed as well. So if it's not on the website, we can put it up on the website. And when I say we, I mean Andy.
Yeah. We're gonna have a good to-do list coming from this. But like I say, it was one of a real sort of favorite experience of ours. But yeah, so we stuck Kimberly in this room. She was told just to repeat everything you say. You've never done this sort of thing before, but anything that comes out of this radio, with the we physically can't hear. You can't hear us. Just repeat that. And then, yeah, I guess I'm going to let you take over, Michael, because I guess it was like.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember word for word the conversation. It was just the. It's probably one of my most enjoyable experiences, and I think it was for the group really that Kimberly had been under, so she'd been on the headphones for some time. I think most of that session, and I think I say something about you've been with Kimberly for some time now. I think it's time we give her a rest. And we're just told, and then Kimberly's like, no. And it's the way she says it. So Kimberly was absolutely brilliant in that she repeated what she heard as she heard it in the manner that she heard it. So it was like, no. And I said, well, I'm going to come in now. And she went, wait there. And it was, I mean, maybe you can remember more of the conversation than I can, Dan, but wasn't, you call it an argument, it wasn't an argument. It was like childish bickering.
I love it though.
Like, I'm going to come in now. No, wait there.
It was just on key. We were trying to end the session. They didn't seem like they wanted to end the session. Kimberly was sort of stuck in the middle repeating it. And myself and Lily were sat on the sofa, which Lily was writing down. She's got really good at doing that. So Lily's doing all the right.
Amazing at taking notes.
Yeah, she's 100%
she
the best.
She can write so much down so quickly. So absolutely. Yeah.
And yeah, so we were both sitting down, and then I just remember seeing the silhouette of you going, I'm going to go in there, and it's like, no, wait. And it's just like, it was I call it an argument, but this
on point. every time.
It was just on point, and it
It
wasn't
was,
an
it was
argument.
like everything I said, it would come back with saying the exact opposite to me, you know.
Yeah.
But it was the way she was saying it back to us as well. It's so on point. To the point,
Brilliant.
I think we'd had a good session there anyway. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I can't really remember it. I can remember the end.
Yeah.
Because that's what, and it caused us all to giggle and laugh. And it was, yeah. And I think it happened somewhere else as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
It happened a couple of weeks later somewhere else.
I think we did it. Yeah, we did it a couple. I think we did it a couple of times. But yeah, that was one that sort of stood out for me, certainly in the first quarter. I mean, like I said, we're really spoiled and lucky about some of the venues we went to. But I know, for instance, the brickworks that we talked about as well, Andy. I know that involved yourself and Spencer, and I think that was when we were in the boiler, like the what we call it, probably area 2 or area 3, where they got the boiler room and the engine room and that massive corridor. I remember us being in there, and I think that Spencer had this sound bar, hasn't it? Spencer had this sound bar that we'd not seen before, and he brought that along, and literally that tunnel was lit up like a runway, wasn't it?
Yeah, equipment around the entire length of it.
Yeah,
it was.
So that was good. That was good for me,
and it was a really good experience trying to kind of understand what we were getting. So when we lined up that tunnel, we kept seeing things coming, them being triggered coming towards us. So you'd see these air pressure hits and magnetic hits, and they were kind of working up towards the tunnel, going around that corner, and then into the boiler room. And one thing I noticed was everyone then went, "Oh, this is exciting," and they went stood in the tunnel watching it, and I spotted, standing in the back filming it, that the piece of equipment which were behind where the people were standing and into the boiler room stopped going off. So almost like whatever was setting off those devices and then going out the corner around the tunnel was stopped by just the people blocking the tunnel itself, until we kind of realized we were just crowding and moved out of the way, and we started getting the same sort of results back into the boiler room again. So it was a very interesting thing to try and understand if it was something that was being set off in an intelligent way, or something where the replay was being blocked by that massive people, that massive energy just inside the corridor. Very fascinating investigation, that one. So I just stayed there the entire night, just to kind of see if we could see the same thing again and again.
That's definitely one of the perks I think you get as being a tech guy. You're able to
float.
Camp you're able to camp. You're like a squatter.
Yeah.
You're a ghost hunting squatter. You find an area and that's it. You're stuck where we all move around 3 times. You're like, nope, we're in.
Yeah.
I'm in this area.
Sometimes I see all 3 groups because I've just stayed in one spot for the entire night.
Good though. It's good because you're you know that sort of level of monitoring is good for us as well, because you're able to pick up stuff, and you know there's nothing worse, I guess, than you being in a group and then coming back and they're going, oh my god, you've got. And we did this with Andy and this happened. And I'm like, well, Andy, where are you going? You can come with us next. Whereas you're camped in one area, everyone gets to experience the sort of. And I think that sometimes you sort of, how many times on an investigation you sort of get there and you're getting into it and you're really going, and then I turn around and go. 10 minutes left now, or 5 minutes left.
It's just
now.
getting good. Let's go back. Time for coffee.
Yeah, and that's it. You don't want to break. And it's always like, oh, will you stay with us or will you come to the next location on the next area? It doesn't happen all the time. So sometimes when you break that, like you really get in, you start to build that rapport. You really start to, to sort of get that activity going. Things start happening. All of a sudden, you're going coffee break, and as much as it's needed when it's cold and frosty and horrible, you just want to stay there all night, which is can be frustrating.
One factor as well, when you say a plonk in a room or a corner of a corridor, and you have each team cycle through, you see such different sort of techniques and approaches for each team and the group of people who are in there, that you tend to get these different interactions in different ways, which is also fascinating. Yeah,
absolutely. It's good to see. It is good to see. I mean, we had a conversation. I had a conversation. It was it started off a bit strange. I had a conversation, I think about a couple of weeks ago. Someone emailed me to say that basically, I won't go into it too much, but saying one of your teams asked to become a member of my society. They don't live anywhere near. Why would they do that? And it was a random message. Didn't give me any information. But I'm like, I don't think it's any of my team. But we like to collaborate. You know, if you could tell me who it is, then I'll look into it to see. And it was a little bit standoffish at first, and I was like you know, we welcome all walks of people, anyone from anywhere, and I fully support any of the team or anyone that fact, I'm a little bit jealous if any of the team get out and investigate, because it's like, we sort of champion that. It's good to see other venues. It's good to see how way people work. And in fairness, the guy was really cool, and we've had a conversation, and we're looking at seeing whether we can sort of tie our diaries together to do something. But the email really caught me off guard, because I'm thinking, when I first saw it, I thought, so what? Like, so what if? And it actually wasn't one of our team. It was someone who said they've been investigating with us. So it was just another member. But yeah, for me, it was a bit like, so what? Like, I didn't even cross my mind once. Who's doing that? Who like, it's going on again. If you got the luxury of seeing different people investigate, so many times where I've sat there and gone, it's a really good point. Really good. I didn't look at it like that. There's been lots of like eureka moments where I've tried it this way and think, actually, do you know what? Have you ever thought about doing this way? Or you ever thought that they're not talking to you because of this? And you think, do you know what? It's a good way of doing it. Sometimes you can go down a rabbit hole with, being so comfortable in the way you investigate that, you don't really look at anything either side of you, really. And I always say, how many times did you jump on a board? Wonder how much. Did anyone see my lights flicker then?
Yeah.
How many
Was that Hev? Was that Hev playing your lights?
She's got a witchery stuff out.
Most haunted moment. Hev in the corner playing with his dimmer switch.
That was good. But yeah, it's I can't remember what I was saying. But I think I said before. I wonder how much we've actually missed by just doing one type of investigation. Well, I think we've got a lot more broader now. This is really good. Mary, I'm not having that. Mary's put, that's why I'm always late. It's the ghosts.
It's not.
I'm not having that.
Drain her watch batteries. That's what it is.
Yeah, draining the watch battery. Yeah, I reckon so. Any other comments on here? David Goulden, but he collaborates with loads of teams and find it really positive. Absolutely, I would welcome any team watching this, anyone watching this, whether they're
Why wouldn't be
part of another group. Come on board. Like, again, we've got a couple of events next year where another group's going to take come and do an air. Like, basically say, can I bring my team along? And if we're splitting into 3 groups of 5 or 3 groups of 7, if they've got 7, they go into one group. They'll be welcomed as part of us. They'll investigate as part of us, but they'll have their own area, and they move around, and you find so many good
and they can learn from the best.
Modest.
I'd love to work with another group. I'd love to do it. I have been with other groups, or another group, and it's you learn stuff, good and bad. You learn, but I think it is important to see things that you may not have thought of, and things that may not be in your comfort zone. You might not go down that line of questioning.
Absolutely.
Good.
I don't know how I'd get on without being in control.
You would hate it. You wouldn't be able to do it.
Like it.
No way.
I think I'd struggle.
You'd be leading the whole team by the end of the event.
I think I'd struggle, but I would like to, I do mean it. I would like to go and investigate, and
Mary says it's true. She's got evidence.
Whatever into the ghost draining her watch battery, or intriguing. So that was the first quarter anyway. So we moved on to, from Victoria House, we moved on to, I want to talk about this one because this one I thought was really, really good. It was the old manor house in, where was that? Wales, wasn't it? We did that with another group. We did that with Discover. Yeah, you were there. That's the one where the lights are flickering. That's the one where we split into groups, and you were doing cameras, and I was doing the Esther session in one of the rooms, and I was in the Esther session in one of the rooms, and you had the camera and the thing you went past. The camera went past. The black shadow went past. Do you remember?
Oh, the name that no one can pronounce.
No.
Wait, I'm completely lost.
The old manor house where we went there with Donny's group. Yeah, we went there with Donny's group, and
oh yes,
remember?
yeah.
And we were doing some filming. You've got that on camera.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's really good. That was a really good event.
Yeah, so we were doing some filming, doing the Estes method. I was under, and they were asking questions. Then all of a sudden, the camera just blacks out, like someone had walked past it, which is really odd because there was no one.
That's what stayed over, wasn't it?
Yeah, you had it on the gimbal thing.
Yes.
So yeah, you had it on the gimbal thing. So there was no way that no way that could have gone past. No way that anyone could have gone past it. No hand would have gone past it. And yeah, that was an interesting one. So
Quite funny, isn't it?
I know. So I just to let you know, the clattering around in the background there to prove we are all just normal people, part of prison. I made some flapjacks. Well, myself and Lily made some flapjacks today for Christmas, and my son's just come down and with a spoon just raiding the flapjacks. So,
He's using the plate at least.
Yeah, at least he is using the plate. So sorry about that. Sorry for the distraction. So let's go back to the chat. So David said, like I say, he collaborates with other groups, very positive. And then David said he wants to be an honorary member of the SGS. You already are, mate.
All day long.
Absolutely. You're welcome. You're welcome with us anytime.
We're getting a T-shirt done.
We'll have next time we see you, mate. We'll have a T-shirt done for you. So but mate, we want to get you on. We want to get you investigating with us. I know you're always busy with the venues you do, but you're always welcome to come on and have a chat whenever you want. You're always welcome to come on our events whenever you want. So and then Michelle's put normal people ? So
Define normal.
we've been question marked with our definition of normal people.
I think we're normal.
Who do you think?
What's she calling us normal?
Yeah, no.
I'm not having that.
Define normal.
Not having that.
So do you know what? We're going to be here all night, so I'm not going to go through each event, but I'll move on and then we can sort of share our.
Well,
share
I'll
our
tell you what,
stories.
just quickly.
Oh,
I think you skipped Wimmera Manor in between brickworks, and
I absolutely did.
only because I want to mention something
Sorry,
we had there, in that because it's such a giving place, and some of it comes when you're really not expecting it. So you'll get things in our breaks and that. But one thing we had there last time was I had Hannah and her friends in a group, and we were upstairs in what is set out to be a nursery, but never was a nursery, but it's set out to be a nursery. You know what I mean? It's got a child's bed and a doll's house there.
Yeah.
And we got an EVP in there. I had the girls singing nursery rhymes. Them, not me, because no, you don't want me doing that. But they were singing nursery rhymes, and we caught an EVP. I'll have to dig it out of a child in that room. I think they started giggling. They were I think they might have said something as well. Yeah, but we got a really good. But I wouldn't call it I think we're quite hard to please because we've had some really good EVPs. So I wouldn't say it's A class. Not that good, but it's certainly a good. We don't like EVPs that you have to explain, and this was one of those that is quite clearly there. No explanation needed.
It was good that it's in context of what you've been doing as well, isn't it? Sorry. It's fine.
There we go.
I was saying it's good that it's in context of what you were doing at the time as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And it's another one of those things. It's good things. It's good to try new things, and just the singing of nursery. Because I think we were doing some calling out, and we'd had some of Andy's boxes go off, and we'd had some knocks and bangs in that room that seemed to be in response. They seemed to be on point. So we started doing some EVPs because we thought I think it turned out there was a couple of children in there, actually, a boy and a girl. You want to get as strong a connection as you can, so you're always looking for that connection that gets that sudden reaction. It's like saying something to you now, and you just laugh without meaning to. That's the reaction you're looking for all the time. Yeah, we got an EVP of a child's voice and laughter, so it's really good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did breeze over Women. Women's been really good for us. It's been a really good venue. I think ever since Andy and Jodie got the apparition of me, or the apparition they thought was me, and then right the way through we've had some. It's a cold venue, and it's a cold one. But I remember, I know that Dave's on there, Dave and Charmaine. Dave's got a friend there that absolutely hates him, just won't communicate with him at all. And we've had knocks and bangs, and we had catballs going off. We had lots.
We had loads of communication as well.
One of Lily's favourite investigations.
We had an awful lot of communication the entire night. Wherever we were going, it was almost like a continuous conversation. So we kind of just kept on the same themes during calling out, and we were giving good responses all the time. So it felt like no matter where we went, we were communicating with the same group of people.
Yeah, I think you could easily do a whole evening talking about Wimmera Manor.
Yeah, I think so. Women almost deserves a show. It's almost be a good one to go back to next year, maybe.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Just sort that out, Dan.
Great idea. Yeah, I'll do that now. No worries. So yeah, I know with sort of time pushing on, we've been an hour. We've not even got through half the year yet. So I'm going to sort of go through where we went for the year, and then if anyone sort of jump out feel free to jump out and shout at me and share some experiences. This house is alive suddenly.
What was that?
The dishwasher opened up. So we moved from Woodchester Mansions. Woodchester Mansions was a great one. We had a really good session in Woodchester Mansions. It was only 14 of us, I think. It was 14 of us, maybe less, 13 of us.
Very low numbers.
And we were down in the cellar. I think it was myself and Lily again, Andy, Beth, Kerry, and David. I think it might have been. And yeah, David standing in the threshold of the room at the very back, and all of a sudden he just heard like someone coming down the stairs. So he's like, we heard it. We were having equipment going off. We go out there to have a look, and no one is anywhere to be seen. That's been a sort of bit of a common thing there. But yeah, Woodchester was amazing for us. I have messaged about getting back there at some point as well. So I know that's one where Chris is going to be looking at for us as well, about going back, sort of small numbers, going to investigate. It's always one that's been relatively interesting. I think that Andy in his monk's robe.
That was the funny thing about the investigation, wasn't it? We were on such
awesome.
a good time in that vaulted cellar room, which, if I'm honest, normally we don't really get anything in that area. We tend to get it further up the cellar, but we were getting so much interaction. We didn't want to leave, but I brought a monk's robe and some Gregorian chant music to then reenact a monk walking up towards the chapel. And we're like, I really want to go do that experiment, but we're having such a good time here. So we did, didn't we? We stopped investigating. I dressed up, went upstairs. We did the thing. It wasn't really happening in the chapel, so we just came back downstairs again. Just stood in the dark.
I think one thing that will live me for that is, so we're in the chapel looking down the main corridor towards where we come in the front. So we've got the monk's music playing. Myself and Lily are standing there watching you come up the thing, and you've got that slow sort of pace on you. The monk's music's going, and I turned around to Lily and went, "What do you do if that's not Andy?"
I come the other direction. Like, hello, guys.
A proper Scooby-Doo moment. She just jumped in like she was. I mean, she's 16. She jumped into my arms like she was a child, honestly. And it freaked. And then she said that was the scariest thing that's ever happened to her on an investigation. The thought of that not being you, because you couldn't see your face. You had the hood down, and you were just like ambling towards us with this chanting music. And because she was frightened, I was like, Andy, but I had to do a little bit of a call out just to like give myself that sense of that is really Andy, isn't it? It's like, yeah, but that was really fun. Lily absolutely terrified her for the rest of the night, but we knew it was you. We knew you were doing it, but it was that slight moment thinking, if that's not Andy, that's exactly what we've done. That's exactly what we've been trying to do all this year, trying to put it through. But yeah, it was interesting. I know that also we had I think it might have been the size. We had one, like, I guess the size of the vibration up on the balcony, and we were getting hits up there of vibration on the side.
Pool pity bit. There was that literally kind of
above
everywhere.
Really odd,
because it was on stone, so there's no reason it should be.
It was, yeah, it's on the stones. It wasn't even on anything. There was no one up there. It's a single staircase up. You physically can't get up to it any other way than us seeing. We're having almost footsteps or vibrations up there, where no one was hasn't even got a second floor up there, let alone so it was really odd, but a real good investigation, which is certainly one we will try and head back to, most definitely. But yeah, and then to Woodchester, the Widley to Shire Hall.
Got to mention Shire Hall. I know I said this earlier, that this wasn't even this year, this was last year, and it was me and Lee, and we'd gone from the souvenir shop into the little cinema little bit. Do you know what I mean? We first go into the cells.
Yeah, the blacked out room.
And and we had the spirit box going, and I'm sure Lee remembers without any prompting. We had a woman's voice coming through, and the most incredible thing about it though was it sounded like every time she spoke, she was getting further and further away. And at one point, I asked, "Is she moving away from us?" And a male voice came through and said, "Yes, she is." It was just the feeling that gives you to hear. you know, we've heard voices on the spirit box before when it's a full sentence or a multi-syllable word. That's what you're after. That's quite exciting. But to hear this woman, same voice woman, every time she spoke, just get further and further away into the distance. I don't know, it's just, it was just a moment that, yeah, it's one of the strangest experiences I think I've had. I know that wasn't this year, it was last year, but yeah, we had one of those moments we were saying earlier. If you see the whole venue, you probably had a quiet night. Me and Lee saw the souvenir shop, and that's cinema. That's all we saw the whole night.
It was a good night.
Interesting though, we've been there 3 times. It's my first time I've ever been there, and yeah, it's my first time I've ever been there. And we were set up in the souvenir shop. So we were set up at the bottom of the souvenir shop in that room before you get into that theatre room. So we're exactly where you were, and we had a, again, I think it was the size. We worked out that in that room. In that room, we were getting a little bit of disturbance off the Wi-Fi, I think, further in on the K2s. But we had, just as you walk up to the, like if you're walking out the gift shop into that main room, we had probably 3 of Annie's devices, but mainly on the sort of size. We're calling out and we're saying, listen. And I remember bending down and going, if you touch the top of it, yeah, if you are to touch the top of it, it would it goes purple and vibrates, and all of a sudden it was going tick, 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 and it started to vibrate. It was amazing. So we might have a guest. We might have a guest to join us. We might have a guest that's logged on. I'm not sure whether it says GU. Are you in? I can see you.
It just suddenly all went down.
Yeah.
Yeah, just all disappeared. I got logged out and.
Yeah. The next experiment maybe dialing in mid-call then.
Okay. Yeah, we can't do mid-call then. Oh well, we try to get David on. He's going to try again. We'll see whether we can get him on. See if we can hit. Are you still in, Michael?
Yeah, well, Andy hasn't logged me off this time.
Oh, I haven't logged you off. I might now.
Not sure whether David can hear. Can you hear us, David?
Oh no, that's Donna.
Oh, who's this? It's Donna. Oh, we got Donna.
Voice of Donna.
Excellent. Oh, David's the weekend, is it? So we can't see you, Donna. We've just got, it comes up as GU and as a guest user, but we also drop. No worries. How are you? You all right? Very nice, very nice. We were just sort of running through 2023 at the minute and seeing, just still running through that in a minute. I don't know whether Michael's frozen. Can you still hear us, Michael?
No.
Maybe joining us mid-call's not working. Did our experiment fail, Michael, do you think? Andy, do you
think so. I think it was a good experiment.
Yeah.
Blame it on the gremlins.
How you doing? You all right? We think with you logging in, I think with you logging in, we've lost Michael. It's all right though. It's good you're popping in and saying hello. That's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine to do that. We were just talking about Andy,
Donna, would you mind going horizontal? Either.
There we go.
Quite scary.
Much better. Thank you.
So we lost Michael altogether, have we?
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be on the call anymore.
Well, hang on.
Oh.
David's on as well now.
Yay!
That's 4.
Good.
Andy, this is
He's on mute.
You're on mute, David, at the moment.
Microphone on.
Hey,
Hello, mate. You good? No worries. No worries, mate. Welcome along to our live chat. I think we've got 2 new people in, and we pushed Michael out, but I think we're trying to do our best to get Michael back as well. But yeah, we thought we'd let you pop on and say hello and see what you're up to and see how things are.
But I should probably add him first as well.
Yes. Let me see if we can have Michael as well. I think we probably have Michael as well. Let's just see. Yep. Nice. Yeah.
We've kind of returned properly from COVID. I think last year we were sort of getting events booked in 2 to 3 months maybe before they would happen. We've pretty much, bar June and July and December next year, got pretty much every month and every location already booked up.
Nice. That's good though. Really good, isn't it?
It is fantastic for the heritage locations. It's really good. So I mean, I am sort of seriously with quite a lot of the regular teams that I have in starting to look at 2025 now to book in. So yeah, it's very, 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 very encouraging, and yeah, it's just great.
Michael, you're back. Sorry about that.
No, I think it's Apple storage.
Sorry, Michael, I think that was me, not you off.
So since you've gone, we've got David above you, or on Mike's screen. We've got David. David's joined us.
Hello, Dave.
And Donna.
Hey,
Try not to feel replaced.
So yeah, not really replaced, but yeah, we were just sort of chatting about what David's been up to with the sites. He was saying that like heritage sites have really started to book up now, so that East Dorset and Shire and stuff are really starting to take shape. So that's good. I know that we were I don't know if you heard us while you were battling to try and get on, David, that we were just chatting about Shire Hall and our experiences there. Like, it's been a real good venue for us, and I don't know if any of it's been there once, but I know Michael said they spent most of the time in the gift shop, and same for us really. We had some really good stuff in the courtroom.
Nice.
Yeah, Hev's been there a couple of times, and I've only been there once, but it's been a really good venue for us, and yeah, it's quite nice because I sort of attribute that to be it's a smaller version of the Galleries of Justice, really. If you've ever been up there to Nottingham, it's quite nice to have the courtroom, the cells, and then the gift shop for Michael and Lee. Really, I think when I spoke to you the next day, Michael, because I hadn't been there at the point, I'm like, what was the sales like? What? And you're like, damn, we were just in the gift shop. We were in the gift shop for a good few hours talking to the same person. I'm like, the sales, the courtroom, and you're like, no, the gift shop. That was where it was at. So.
It's interesting because the gift shop is kind of, I mean, you can research the gift shop. It's absolutely fine. It's not off bounds to research, but it is just a gift shop. But historically, that was part of the nuclear bunker. So that is an interesting part of Shire Hall to look at. But quite a lot of teams would probably bypass that because it looks like a gift shop. But historically, as I say, it was the nuclear bunker. So that's interesting. You've done some research in that area. You're right. I mean, normally people would just default straight to the sales of the courtroom. So
I think that was probably behind our thinking at the time, was it doesn't get investigated. Certainly the couple of times we've been there before, people walk straight through it because it's not a particularly dark area either. It's reasonably well lit, so people tend to head for the dark areas. But I'll tell you the other fascinating thing about that was we had a fair bit of we had K2s going, and I think we had some cat balls, and that little cinema room before you go into the actual cells, we were getting nothing in there. No magnetic field hits, nothing. We were getting nothing. But in the gift shop, we were getting plenty, and it was on point. For how long was we in there, Lee? 40 minutes, and we was asking questions, and the K2s and the cat balls were going off in response. If we said nothing, if we drifted away from a subject, we would get nothing. And then if we approached them again, we would start getting these intelligent responses. And then we moved back into that cinema area, and we went from getting nothing in there, the projector in there, to also our K2s and that were being activated. So when we first went in, there was nothing, which didn't really make any sense, bearing in mind what's in there. And then we went back in there, we were getting loads, and that's where we were getting those voices in the spirit box. I don't know if you heard, David, but we were saying we were getting a female voice coming through. Same voice, multiple syllable words, sentences, but she kept, every time she spoke, she was getting further away. That's what it sounded like. And it was such a strange experience because you expect it to be at the same pitch every time, but she was literally getting quieter and quieter. And we asked the question if she was moving away from us. And then a male voice came through and said, yes, she is. It's fascinating.
That was mad.
Amazing, that's amazing.
Uninvestigated areas. Should we say something about the exclusive for next year, Dan?
Go on, say it.
So we have at No Fort next year. We have a new area that's never been investigated that will be opened up. So we are scaling back quite a lot of our archive. And the archive at the moment is going to be moving to a different part of the fort, which is going to open up where the sleeping quarters are from the Cold War period, where people that were on radio operations during the Cold War time between sort of 90, so about 84 and 90, their bunks, the sleeping area is all completely as it was, because that's quite recent history, 80s to 90s. The bunks are still there, moving, and that room will be opened to investigate for the first time on Paranormal Investigations next year. It will eventually be open probably later next year to the public, but initially in the new year it will be open for I'll be able to open it up for investigations, so teams can go in. So that's a whole new untapped area of the new fort. It's a massive room right next to the engine room, so just before you come to the engine room, there's a little door on the left hand side, and you would never know that all those bunks and the sleeping quarters are in there. But the bunks are like, I think it's about 12 bunks, and they're three bunks high, and it's just an amazing room. It's kind of the little service corridor off the back of it as well.
Did you say that was a sleepover, Dave?
Well, we have been looking at doing sleepovers in the No Fort, and that would be a perfect place because the bunks are there. They're just ready to sleep in. They are there ready, and they've not been changed. And they've still got the original bedding on them from the last radio operators that would have slept in. So it's an amazing part of the fort that we've never ever been able to get open. So it's our archive. It's where our archive is, but we're scaling that back and moving that because it will be bringing it, sort of scaling it back quite a bit, taking that to a completely different part of the fort. So this room will now be able to be open.
Brilliant.
Amazing. We are in talks. So tomorrow we'll confirm some dates on both that and Shire if we can get in as well as a two priority, really. Yeah. So I mean, I know we're chatting about No Fort, and I wrote down one of my experiences in No Fort, and it just I don't even think it was the last time. So this is another one that we're saying happened sort of previously, but we're in with the rooms with the cannons, and I was doing the Estes method, so I had the radio in my ear, and I was just repeating out, and we were just talking, and the group, unbeknownst to me, said something about we're going down into the tunnels for the next area. Will you come and join us? And I think there was sort of a yes, and it wasn't really on response. And then somewhere in the conversation, I say the word what I thought was benign. So I say, and the group write it down as benign. So they then go down that route of, benign, cancer, or benign whatever went down that sort of illness route. And then when I came under, I was like, right, what was it any good? Was it any? And they said, yeah, we were. It was quite interesting. We asked them to follow us, and then you said benign. We're like, right, okay. Well, anyway, we walked down there, down to the tunnels. We walked right. The first room is B9. So yeah, so we'd asked them to follow us, and they said B9. And because we'd gone completely off track, thinking it was benign, as in something was benign, but actually, yeah, we'd asked them to follow us downstairs, and they said B9.
I like that.
But
yeah,
whatever
that.
I said was
suddenly something that at the time seemed meaningless has actually got a lot of meaning to it.
We walked through the door. We were like yes, oh my god, that's amazing, because we could have been heading either side, because obviously we split the two tunnels in two groups and upstairs as one. But we went down the tunnel, turned right, and B9 was on the the room we're going into, which was which is
who
real
was
lucky,
following who?
really cool to see.
Interesting. Well, next was my 10th year at Knowth Fort, so I know that place like the back of my hand. I really know that location really well, and I sort of know all the little quirks that building has. I know all the acoustic sounds that we get down there. I know where the zones are where things will just happen that are natural to the environment down there, and that's the blessing of working so in a location so frequently. Is to get to really know it, and I mean that's what it's about. So when things are a little bit out of character, you sort of really know, okay, that's different. That's not sort of something that happens regularly. And B9 is one of those places, because obviously it's a shell store B9. As I said just moments ago, that over the years, that's one of those rooms that people keep coming back to with sort of interesting experiences. It's that of all the shell stores is the one that comes up quite a bit, and there is a historic account that I think is quite interesting with B9. I don't know whether you know this, but we had that open. I've not been with the fort long, so we are probably talking about 8-9 years ago now. We'd had that open and dressed up as a Santa's grotto for Christmas this time of year, literally, and had the children walking around the fort, walking around the tunnels, and they go in sort of meet Santa and get a little present in the in B9 that was done out as the grotto. And a child walked into there with their mum and dad, and we've got the TV in that room, which you'll probably be familiar with, which we play a little video on about the fort. Stood in that corner and pointed into that corner and said, "Man, man, man." Oh. And that's it that I know that I think is quite interesting, associated with the shell store B9, and it was written in our little visitors book. I think it was even in the incident book because the child was quite concerned. The parents sort of said the child's not got an active imagination or anything, so that's quite an interesting, unique account that I know. About the fort. Again, that isn't out there in the public domain. I've mentioned it a few times, I think, on things that we might have done with the media, but not much. So B9 is an interesting part of the fort. Yeah,
especially we didn't even associate with that. We didn't even associate with the sort of the rooms all down there. We always refer left hand side or right hand side. We don't even refer to it as like the numbers. So we didn't even click. And frustratingly, we didn't follow it up there. There was lots of more questions, but we were completely going down the wrong route of an illness rather than actually. And when you listen back to it, we were clearly talking about we're going downstairs in the tunnels. Do you go down there? Will you come and talk to us? And then this benign thing, however, then we just go straight off on a tangent about something else, frustratingly, but then walk through that door and think, wow, is this what you meant?
Isn't it? It's kind of, where do you start?
Yeah, absolutely. But no, we're definitely. It's been good. It's been good to have you on chatting with us. We're definitely going to set some dates up. A lot of people in the chat have been saying about Love No Fort. Yeah, Charmaine said she loves it. Alison said a sleepover sounds amazing. So
I think there's enough people in the chat for us all just to go now.
Can't say no. Can't say absolutely
no.
Yeah. Everyone's just agreed to it.
Yeah, so we've got you live, and we've had our members.
I'll bring you a little blankie. Keep yourself safe.
I work with. Sorry, Andy.
Oh.
I think Michael says he's going to bring his little blanket. You don't need them, Michael. They're all there for you already. Just snuggle up.
Yeah, they are the military standards. The 80s standard for the radio operator.
The itchy ones.
But no, I just want to say, I really love you guys. I work with, all the event teams and a lot of private research teams in and out of the locations, and I'm very fond of you guys. I think you're a fantastic team. I'm not just saying that because I'm here. You know that, Dan. I shouldn't have favourites, but I'm very. You're all good, and let's do it again in 2024.
Absolutely, we'll have a chat tomorrow. Yeah.
No worries.
Mate, thanks ever so much for coming on.
See ya.
Sure.
Catch you soon.
Cheers, mate.
Yes, bye.
Cheers, Andy.
Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye. Merry Christmas to you. So, is this going to skew your...
No, it's fixed.
Is it? Nice. Dave can log on. For Dave can log off.
Oh,
It's
it's
still on.
not
I
the
think in a
stream.
minute.
Okay.
No.
You can talk about him and see his reaction.
go
We
on.
won't be able to see
Sorry,
anything
Donna. We see you pop on, Donna, and then you just, yeah. Can you hear us all right, Don?
Yeah, I can.
So 2023 then. Let's get you talking as you've made the effort to come back from a meal and chat to us. Has there been something that stuck out for you in terms of activity or a venue that you've loved that we went to?
Have I been many? Because obviously my shift's getting away. I just
Yeah,
want to think what ones I've been to. I've actually been to Vicky House quite a lot.
Yeah.
That will always probably be my favourite.
Anything in particular that stands out from there?
Anything in Victoria?
Yeah,
I'll put you
when,
right on the spot now, Donna. Sorry.
we had a it was just a group of ladies in one of the classrooms, and one of the ladies went over, and it's Mary because she's brilliant because she obviously does the research. Odd words kept coming out.
Of Mary.
And Mary did the research, and it actually.
I thought you were saying odd words came out of Mary.
No. The woman was saying odd words who was under the headphones, and it all linked into the history of the place and stuff. So that's really good.
Yeah.
I like it when Mary comes back and says, "Oh yeah, such and such, such and such." So yeah, that was really, really good. Obviously when my great grandfather came through, but I'm not sure whether that was this year or last year. So that was a good point for me. Bit random why he came through
there's
at
one
Netley.
thing we've definitely realised tonight is that none of us have any concept of time.
No. Absolutely not.
Which year is it?
We always blame Mary for
year
no concept of time.
2021, isn't it?
It's
we're talking
odd.
about.
Yeah. Listen, there's pre-COVID and post-COVID. That's all there is.
There used to be
All there
time
is.
before COVID, and that was
Nothing
just
before.
the after time.
It's like a good film. The time before
So
COVID.
guys, what's lined up for next year then? Because obviously I've missed that bit, and I've not been on.
No, you haven't yet. You haven't, and I think it's what most people are waiting. Most people are sort of chatting about, and no, you haven't done that yet. We're just going to look at the last part.
After the break.
Yeah, find out. Yeah, in fairness, we're gonna go into it in a bit anyway. But yeah, I guess the last part of the year we looked at, we went to for the No Fault. We went to the Benny, to the Museum of East Dorset, Victoria House, Purbrick, and the Brickwork. So we sort of finished off the year. In fairness, the second event of the year was Brickworks. We finished off at Brickworks in December.
Can I touch on Benny?
Man,
quickly?
it was cold.
Please do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a challenging investigation because it's a building with kind of like two really big rooms, isn't it? So trying to sort of split it down is not the easiest. Yeah. But I really thought that experiment we did with the sort of remote Estes session was interesting, where we had someone doing listening to the spirit box, and they were sitting right in the back of the stage, and they were in the dressing rooms, and then the entire rest of the team were standing in the stage area doing the calling out, and they had that one person sitting between those two, then relaying any responses back, just so that the questioners knew kind of what route to follow. So it completely ruled out the person listening to it from hearing anything coming through.
And I think, Andy, that was with noise cancelling headphones as well.
In noise cancelling headphones, and 20, 30 meters away.
Certainly when me and Dan do the Estes method, we will always ensure whoever's under, i.e. who's got the headphones on, is always away from the group. So you can put them in another room, fantastic. And you might have one person as a go-between just to relay what's being said. But yeah, certainly the more isolated, the better.
Yeah, and some very interesting results as well. Like I think we talked about behind the call, there was certain patches during that night where responses we were getting back was really related to kind of some of the history we'd just learnt about the place. But this Estes session, although it occasionally did tap into some of that history, also just had stuff from what was going around the area, like words were talking about brutish man, stranger, outside, dog walker, and then I heard someone walking dogs just outside the room we were in. It was and check the audio, and there was literally someone walking down the street with a set of dogs and past the place at the same time as dog walker came out of the Estes. It's a very interesting one. Hopefully we can repeat that at some point in another location. Just really separate the Estes person from the questioning person.
It's hard. It's a hard one because it's just trying to get those numbers right as well. I think that it's probably a conversation I'll have with him in terms of how we manage it, how we do it, because it's a hard one. I guess that that's probably a way around to do it. I'll have a little look and a little think and maybe
I
look
know
at
it
it.
seems to be one of my favourite things to say, but it's about controlling the variables all the time. And I mean, if you stand somebody in the middle of a room, cheap headphones, there's always going to be that doubt in your mind. Always cancelling headphones away from everybody. You know, you've got more control because it's there's less to filter. You know, it's more of a pure response. And I mean, you know, you can have things right hand for male, left hand for female. And, you know, you repeat things the way you hear them. So it's not just repeating it, but in the manner that you hear it. For instance, when we did the ancient ram, Dan, do you remember when we had
Nice.
I think it was Mike that was on there. I'm sure there was a point where he just went, woohoo, because that's what he'd heard. Brilliant. You know, to say what you hear.
Yeah, and also
put on the chat, and it was a
Mary who mentioned the Causeway was good investigation. She also had an interesting Estes session in exactly the same spot we were doing, coincidentally, where it seemed to respond to me going back into the room and trying to clear up the kit. But it's definitely interesting, but like I say, controlling it is going to be a bit of a challenge.
Definitely getting the numbers right there again, but yeah, definitely. The thing with this chat, I've got sort of, and then David pops on, and then I want to go back to No Thought now. He's got that place, and then it's Shy Hall we want to go back to, and then
but pretty much try and duplicate the previous year after we have these conversations, don't we?
Absolutely. So probably a good time. Should we have a look at next year, see what we're going to be going to? I guess the people have we kept people on long enough. I guess that I know I guess we're going to do a bit quick overview. I think not going into War and Peace about the venues, but a chance for us to have a look. These venues will be live on our site. Tickets are going to be around sort of 15 places, 10 places. So there's not going to be loads of tickets available. But yeah, certainly
jumping quick
on the venues, we're going to be releasing them. I think what I'll probably end up doing is what I did last year. I had quite a good response. That another big complaint people get is that they don't get a chance to get a ticket. So what I'll probably do is I will send an email out. I will send an email out to say that these are the events that happen and the date we're going to be releasing them. Then I'll release them. That's the fairest way, I think, to do it. Literally send an email out to say a pre-event email to say this is where we're going to be going. Gives people a chance then to have a look at it, make a decision what they want to do, and then I'll launch the events. And then I'll launch it on the date I'll say it, and then it is. People can't shout at me then for not getting a ticket or not going. But yeah, have we got the photos of where we're going to be?
Ready to go when you are?
Yeah, let's
have
a look at the first one then. So we've talked about it quite a bit actually. It's the first one we're going to be heading back to is whether it's on yet or delayed, but we're going to be heading back to. I guess we've made the decision that January, due to the weather, that we're probably going to stay away from events at the minute in Jan. We normally do a Victoria House or a one that's a little bit warmer. We're going to Wimmering Manor. It's going to be our first event next year.
That's a great place to start the year. That is
starting strong.
Yeah,
banging. It's a banging place to start. It's like one, Michael.
You haven't seen the rest.
Wimmering Manor is where we're starting at.
That's as Andy said, that's a strong start. And you know, and if people are interested in going, that's one you definitely want to be quick on that.
Yeah,
because that is small numbers.
Yeah, we're probably looking at, I guess, depending on the conversations that go on, I think we're probably looking at between sort of 13 and 15, probably 3 groups of 5, maybe less. We're just working out the minute, but probably a maximum of 3 groups of 5. They're utilising the cellar, then the ground floor, and then
tough
sort of
again,
attic and the upstairs.
Because that open balcony means that anything upstairs, you have to be worried. You kind of would infect downstairs, and then the downstairs, you hear people in the cellar. You hear people on the first floor. It's not one you can take a lot of people to at all, is it?
Yeah, really hard, isn't it? It's a hard event, but stuff we've had so much good stuff. Those that have never been there before, it dates back to the 16th century. It's noted in the Domesday Book. It's reportedly one of the most haunted places in Hampshire. It's further afield, really.
Yeah, definitely haunted. Let's go with that.
It's old, and like I said, we've seen everything from full body apparitions to
oldest house in Portsmouth.
Yes, is it? I think it is. I think it's yeah. Well, it's in the Doomsday Book, in it, so if it's much older than that, then yeah, I'd like to see it.
Proper
Really,
venue as well, mate. Like look wise,
Yeah.
you walk in there, it's a proper haunted house.
10th of February. It's such a cold venue.
You'll be in shorts.
I'll be in shorts, yeah, but it's such a cold venue. It's ridiculous, but yeah. So we're going to start out there. So Wimmering Manor is going to be the first event we're going to be going on. So that will be released very, very soon, along with the other ones. Then we're moving from Wimmering Manor to another venue we spoke about, which I think goes back to when we talked about the SS method we were doing with Kimberley and Merley House. So Merley House is the next one we're going to be heading to. So we're it's probably spread out sort of a couple a month, couple sort of spread out every sort of couple of weeks.
Still quite new to us, that one. How many times have you been there, Andy?
I don't know, probably about 5 or 6. 5, yeah. Yeah.
5 or 6, not a lot.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of work we need to do there. We're kind of getting little snippets of things, but it's all over the place.
Absolutely. So yeah, looking forward to go back there. Constructed in 1756. The nice thing, I love the cellars there. The cellars are
huge
really
cellars.
We've got a lot of room.
Massive.
Playing that right. So Merley House Mouse is in Wimborne in Dorset. So more sort of to work towards this way, but you get the whole building in terms of exclusivity. Some of the rooms and the upper floors are locked, but you have a massive cellar. You have all the downstairs. You have a little attic room and stuff. It's a real nice venue.
If you can't get in the offices, you've got the corridors, which
And we got a good video on that. And he's got a video of his leg being touched.
Yeah, you actually see my trousers moving.
Really strange, that video.
It's true. There's this bulge appears.
It's getting late, isn't it?
Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
But yeah. Jesus, but yeah, there is actually a video, isn't there? We actually have the video of and I guess that's everyone heads to the rooms, everyone heads to cellars and attics of that. You were sat in the main hallway doing a bit of investigation. Yeah, so that's amazing. So we're looking forward to head back to that one, which is good. Mary loves Merley House. I was going with that, but yeah, that's cool. And then the next one we're moving on to is probably the biggest one, a big one we're looking at doing. One we've been trying to get into. One we were booked into ages ago. That got cancelled.
It would be 8 years ago.
8 years ago, man. It was 8 years ago. We were booked. We had our hotels booked. Everything was booked, and then all of a sudden it was asbestos, I think, and then they cancelled the event on us, which was really frustrating. But
I went to it all anyway. Had a great time.
How was the asbestos?
Yeah. I know loads. People went. Few people did. Yeah. Am I on the right channel? Yeah, Dave.
About what?
What's that?
Andy was saying.
Oh yeah, sorry. Dave's bit, is he on the right channel? I think he's on about your OnlyFans.
I'll send you a link afterwards, Dave.
Not hearing it right. So yeah, the next place we're going to be heading to is Newsham Park Hospital.
Cannot wait.
Huge place. 1874 was booked. We got the photo of that one. That's probably just flipping over. Is it? Huh?
It was booked in 1874.
No, it was built in 1874 as a seamen's orphanage, hospital. Giggle at that. I nearly didn't write that down because I knew you'd giggle at that. And then asylum. It's absolutely disgustingly huge. It's a massive place. Still got the morgue.
It is massive.
It's a huge place, and the nice thing about that is we're looking at probably only taking 20 people. Probably looking at about 20 people. I know that when speaking to the owners of it and other groups, they take 40 people, more double what we're taking. So looking forward to sort of rattle around in that place. And yeah,
I think we'd lose people if we took that many.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so. We can't be trusted, Michael, with that amount of people. So yeah, so that's it. That's Liverpool's. So yeah, that's huge. And then we come back down to the Brickworks. So going in and staying in March, we're going to the Brickworks. Fans' favourite, really.
It's a reliable venue, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, like I said, it's freezing last time we went there, but the Brickworks, it's a local venue, so it's in Southampton, built in 1897. We just had it. When do you know what I put next to that? Built in 1897, right? But we've had activity dating back way before that. We've actually spoken to people that have been way before that as well. So yeah, looking forward to get back to that one.
That was an interesting one.
I'm
One we
hoping
went,
that March time it won't be so cold.
that one we just went to there was
Hopefully, I'll
good.
get to it this time.
Yes, yeah, hopefully. What was that, Andy?
That one we just the last investigation we had there last month, was it beginning this month? I don't know. That was probably the best one we've ever had there. Now different teams.
I was only there for a bit of it, but we heard the same thing. You know, you were doing your walk around, weren't you? And you heard female whispering in the mock rooms, and then I think probably an hour and a half later on our first break, I think it was on our first break, wasn't it? I was wandering past, and I turned around and went, "Hello, who's in there?" And there was no one else in there, so I heard exactly the same thing.
Yeah, about 2 meters from where I was standing an hour before.
Yeah, and do you know what? Probably one of my favorite. Myself and Hev were doing a Frank's box session, so we were doing a SP7 session rather than in the ears. We had it on the table. We had equipment going off, and I got real sidetracked into talking to what I hoped was going to be activity that we got before. It was two people, and all of a sudden we started talking to them, and then out of nowhere, the radio went, "Phil left out." And I just sort of been channeling my conversations towards these two people, two people that names we sort of got, names we think we were getting hits on the equipment, and suddenly this male voice came out and I went, "Phil left out," and it couldn't have been any more clearer. And it was almost like telling me off that actually there are more people in the room than who you're addressing, Dan. Almost like rein yourself in, don't get too sidetracked with these people, because it almost sort of trying to get me back on the right track. But
really, shouldn't happen. Shouldn't be possible for that to happen.
No.
3 words, same voice, because it shouldn't stay on the station that long.
No, it says Phil left out. I know that Andy had a voice recorder on it.
Definitely
my wrist was next to it. So there was absolutely no doubt in my mind we will capture that, and everyone heard it, and everyone repeated the same thing. It wasn't even like, did anyone? Everyone heard what Phil left out. So looking forward to get back on. It was hopefully not as cold in March as it was in it was last year, but yeah, heading back to that one now. So the next one I'm really looking forward to, which is in Worcester. So we're heading sort of back up Midlands way to the nunnery in Worcester. The nunnery was built in 1879. It was originally a convent that held 250 nuns. So it's got lots and lots of history. It looks fascinating. It's got a labyrinth of cellars, but also what it does have, it has like the block and the cellars of, and in the centre is a church. There's a church there, full blown like church as well. So it's going to be a really interesting venue to investigate. We probably only have 10 tickets on that one. It's only going to be a small one. So yeah, that one will be released. But yeah, the nunnery is going to be a really interesting place to investigate.
It's been a while since we've done anywhere with a religious building in, isn't it? Was it probably last was Stansted House maybe?
Stansted House, and we had some really good stuff coming from Stansted House when we investigated that church. So again, from a history side of things, I know we go to these sort of prisons and castles and dungeons where there's a lot of bloodshed and stuff. This was a nunnery, but it's really interesting when you look at the history on it and you sort of delve into it. But to have the church and the religious aspect to it, I'm really looking forward to going up to that one. It's not too far away as well, so Worcester's not too far away from us. But yeah, the nunnery we're heading to, looking forward to that one.
Do you know what this is? Do you know what this feels like? This feels like picking your dream team for Saturday coming. It's like this is a strong lineup.
Yeah, I think
we're definitely getting points this week.
I sort of start to worry about because it's difficult because I've got now like Nofort, Shire Hall, Benny that we've got to try and nick, and we're not going to squeeze them in.
You promised the Woodchester as well, from rightly earlier.
A Woodchester as well, but a strong mid-year. But going to be really interesting. So from the nunnery, we head back down to Southampton to our private location, the worst kept secret in the world, in fairness, but it's still known to us as a private location, secret location. But it's back down to Southampton, and he said New Zealand. But yeah, it's the worst kept secret in the world, but it's our secret location. You can read about it. Everyone knows where we go and what we do. It's just the way we have to advertise it. never let us down. It's a great location. It's indoors, so
It's warm.
it's warm. It's absolutely warm. Although April should start to warm up, so it'd probably be too hot. Everyone will be in shorts.
Really consistent too, isn't it?
The heating's on already.
Yeah, the heating's on already. Yeah, but it's so hot in there. So yeah, we're heading to there, and then the only other one we're going to be releasing very soon. Another one looking forward to, again, sort of ending our sort of strong 2024 up to May, is HMP Dorset Prison. So going to Dorset Prison.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's sort of that completes our set, I think, of
So
prisons.
I would put Brickworks in goal. Safe, isn't it? Safe pair of hands.
Okay,
Always going to
we've
get
got, yeah.
always
So
going to
like
get a result there. Women Manor. I'll put them in front.
Yeah.
Goals galore. Yeah. And I think captain would be private location captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's reliable, isn't it? Steady,
Reliable.
reliable, never lets you down.
And I think none of these going to be like super sub.
Yeah. We've lost half those football fans
It's
on there,
looking,
Michael.
it's
Yeah.
looking good though, isn't it? That's an exciting year. You know, some good old favourites and some, you know, really exciting new venues on there as well.
Definitely, it's a good sort of 5-6 months to start the year. So Dorset Prison in May, built in 1795. It's a massive historic place. You know, when you sort of really delve into the history of it, you know, you've got lots of history dating back. Like, it was one of the scenes of the last hangings. You've got hangings right out front of some hangings of inspired poems. I've done a lot of research on it, like in the evenings this week, and it's been really interesting. But what's even more interesting with that is moving forward in history to 2016, whilst doing some excavating, they found more human bones there. So actually, you've got the history of the people that were in there, You've got the history of the hanging that happened, that would have happened at the old prison, and then the new prison, and then the hanging outside the gates, where there was like 3,000 people used to watch it. And now, you know, not now, but in 2016, in recent history, they've unearthed human bones as well. We got a picture of this one.
I think this one's kind of.
Is that?
Don't know, across the thingy. Anyway, no. So we haven't got the date.
No
on the
worries.
screen
Okay,
either.
that's fine.
That's kind of.
No, we've got nothing. So
they'll all be on the website when? Are they on there now?
Yeah, they're on the website for the team at the moment. So I think the first thing was to notify you guys of where we're proposing to do, and then the next step is to put an email together with the dates and the prices and the times, and I'll put like a generic email will go out to all the team members. To all our team members and all the society members. An email will go out to them. It's finalising the last few bits on them, so it'll probably be either the end of this week or the weekend,
So what's that covered? From Winbury Manor down to HMS.
So 10th of February to 11th of May, I guess.
Because there's always a point where you'll say, right, where do people want to go next year? Is there any places people want to go back to? When are we going to fit them in? I mean, I can think of 3 or 4 places off the top of my head that I'd love to go to or love to go back to. I'm just looking at that now thinking, well, when? Because that's I mean, but the thing is,
H2.
Sort of June.
That's nothing to what we used to be doing 2 a weekend. Yeah.
I know. We'd never survive that now, but yeah. And the way it works, we've got 2 in Feb, 2 in March, 2 in April, 1 in May at the minute, and so that's when it's going to be. Contact me if you want any more. From now until probably going to be released. Just again, I think about releasing it this weekend. It's Christmas Day.
Christmas weekend.
Christmas weekend, isn't it? So yeah, as long as I can get things finalised, I might try and get them out by Friday. But speak to me, send us some messages if you want. You know, if you want some more information on them, want some more information about the tickets, about being released, just chuck me a message, and I'll do my best to either to get you on, or do my best to try and sort of work it through really. But that's where we're going. That's the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 events of the year. I think it's a really.
It's the first 5 months of the year.
Yeah, first 5 months of the year. It's a really strong start, real strong start. So, pleased with it. Really pleased with the lineup. I'm really pleased with what we're proposing. So, bearing any last minute hiccups or any problems on that's what we're going to be releasing. And then, if you're not a member of the site, join the site, because you'll get a pre-email to say these events are going live at 8 o'clock on this date or whatever, and then that'll basically be your ping to watch it and then go live, and then you'll get the opportunity to try and join us. Like I say, we're not taking 30, 40 people on these events. Like I say, some of them, Merley House, we said 15, Wimmering probably less than that. Newsham Park, we're looking around 20. Brickworks, again, probably around 18, probably. Nunnery, 10. Private location, 18, maybe a bit more. And then, yeah, Dorchester Prison, I think there's about 18 tickets on that one now. So there's it's certainly going to be a scrap for some of them, but we'll do my best to try and accommodate if you contact me and let me know. But that's everything. Yeah. It's been a good call. It's been an hour and 42 minutes. So appreciate you staying with us. I really enjoyed chatting with you and getting David on and Donna joining us and everyone that's been involved, really. And just a big thank you for this year. It's been a real good year. Really enjoyed investigating with you guys.
Just to say throwing it back at you, really, because you really complimentary about us. But it has to be said, he is one of the easiest people to get on with. You know, if you just have a casual conversation about whatever's going on outside, or you want to talk to him about the history of these places, or, you know, methods that you want to use in investigating, he's a really easy guy to talk to. He's very welcoming. And sleep over at North Thorpe, please, Dave.
Oh, mate. It's the first thought.
He's genuinely a good guy, you know, but yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's good to have him on board. And it's nice to hear his comments. You know, he does see team after team after team go through his door, you know.
He's a busy man.
You know, to have those
busy guy.
Yeah. Nice to hear. Certainly nice to hear. But yeah, thank you for your support this year. It's been good. It's been a tough year on some things, and it's been it's been an interesting year. So some good activity, and looking forward to investigating with you next year. So I guess all I say is have a great Christmas, have an amazing New Year. Come back next year fighting fresh, and we're out there from February onwards, hitting the streets again, and ghost busting. So thanks ever so much for joining in tonight and supporting us throughout the year, and hopefully we'll see you on an event in the new year. And guys, thanks to the team that make it all possible as well. So thanks to the guys that are on the corner, and Mary and and Mark and so on that are always working in the background. We couldn't do it without you guys. So yeah, appreciate your efforts this year as well. But that's us. That's a wrap.
Good Christmas.
Enjoy your Christmas.
Have a
Merry
good Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. See you
See you in the
soon.
new year.